Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to new distributor training for Saturday morning. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with ZJ International, and it's my privilege to be your trainer this morning. And give me a moment here. I'm running a moment late. My apologies. Let's see what we got going here. Oh, we got quite a few people with us already this morning. Welcome, welcome. And let me check my messages here. Good morning, David. Good morning, Mary. All right, let's definitely get this thing up and running. Who we got here? Good morning, Michael. And Yolanda, good morning. Quite a few people I don't recognize, which is a very good thing. What that means is we've got a number of new distributors that have joined us. Maybe this is your first opportunity to be part of a new distributor training on Saturday morning, so we certainly welcome you. Welcome a number of our leaders that I see have also joined us as well. Get this screen moved around just a little bit for me. There we go. Okay, now, folks, I encourage you to grab your journal, grab your notepad, what have you. I really like the idea of having something in a place where you can compile, start keeping a record of the various trainings and webinars and what have you that you have an opportunity to be a part of. I started this over 30 years ago when I first entered into this profession. I recognized there was a lot of information that I was receiving, and I needed to have a way to be able to go back and look at that. In the early days of my career in network marketing, some of you know this, the story, I was a cross-country truck driver. I left that to get involved in network marketing to create a significantly above average income and to have time freedom, all for the purposes of being able to, you know, care for my first son as he was entering school age. And back then, my journals were little spiral bound notebooks, you know, the kind of thing you get for like 50 cents a piece, or I don't know, they're probably $5 now, but you know, pretty cheap stuff. Today, got real nice ones, you know, got it's leather bound, got the little page marker there, the little gold foil like your Bible and stuff. But whatever it is that you use, I encourage you to start doing that, because you're going to get a lot of information over your career with ZJ. You're going to want to compile that. I'm going to go through a lot of things very quickly here because I want to leave some time for question and answer. But this is kind of a unique time in ZJ. We're entering into the roll-up to ZJ 2.0. Just got off the Diamond Club call. I will be holding the first Saturday of the period team-wide meeting. You may want to reach out to some of your team members that maybe aren't in the loop and that sort of thing. Get them on. That's going to be exactly 1 hour from now. We'll do that at 11 o'clock Pacific. Won't take a long time, probably 15-20 minutes, but I want to get some information out that we just got from the Diamond Club call. Today, this is kind of interesting because it's the first Saturday of period 127. I have to tell you, I got a little chuckle out of the email that went out. That you know, one of the most important skills for a professional network marketer, and I did have a comment, you know, well, that's what you did last week. Well, guess what? There's more than one important skill. There's a number of it. There's probably, I don't know, maybe half a dozen things that we do that make 80% of the difference in our type of business. I'm going to cover a couple of those things this morning. But in particular, for those of you that are really just getting started with us in ZJ, I want you to understand, this morning, new distributor training, this is not necessarily the very first thing you should be getting. I encourage you to take a look at some of the things that I've done as kind of a you know, prerequisite, if you will, for this course. If you go to my YouTube channel, it's www.youtube.com/FredHolmesZJ. Fred Holmes ZJ. If you go there, you'll see a link that says playlists. There's only one playlist on my YouTube channel, and it is new distributor training and fast start training. I encourage you to make that kind of your first stop. There's a 30-minute video that I did and this goes back, it's probably close to a year ago now that I'm thinking about it. I think it was June, where I take 30 minutes and I give the information that I actually received 30 plus years ago in my very first Saturday morning new distributor training. It's what you want to have underneath your belt, the foundation. It's what we do and how we do it. Okay, and so I encourage you, take 30 minutes and go watch that video. Then there's 3 more little 10-minute videos that follow it. And that's what we would call the fast start training. How to launch your Zija business, get into profitability right away, to create your fast start story. Those 3 little videos are, you know, the story and how you share your story, how to create a successful prospect list like professional network marketers would, and the 90-day game plan. Because that's probably the most important thing that I could share with you. If you're looking at long-term success in building your Zija business, focus on starting with the end in mind. Okay, create in your mind what it is you want to have down the road, and then set the pace for your team. Create your story. It's what I did with Zija. You know, again, some of you have been around long enough. You've heard the stories of you know, my previous involvement in network marketing. The day I joined Zija, I already knew what to do. This was not something that I had to figure out. I'd already had 2 previous successful multi-level ventures. With Zija, I knew that my #1 priority was to create my story, because that story would first of all put me into profitability. It would create an environment where I could document, I could demonstrate that there was a simple system that we used. I knew how to do it. I had the results, and I could teach others. And that story would lead, would follow me the rest of my Zija career. And see, what's really important to understand today, you know, when I'm talking with somebody that's new, whether it be somebody I'm personally talking to about, you know, joining the team, or for one of my team members, maybe sharing something for one of their prospective distributors, you know, while it's interesting and certain maybe inspirational to hear about the results I've had over the years I've been with Zija, it's been pretty astounding, the financial rewards of being with Zija. Well, most people want to know is, what did I do my first day? What did I do to get in, get trained, get started, to get off to a fast start? Because, you know, obviously, unless I'm sharing today's money with you, what you're really interested in is how to get your own. So encourage you, if you're really new, you're just getting started with us, go to my YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. And take in that. I mean, you're talking about 4 little videos, maybe 60 minutes total. Get that underneath your belt. That'll be a great foundation. On Saturday mornings, we like to use this time, and it's not always me. There'll be other trainers as well, but to use this time to start giving you some additional information, the kinds of things that for most people take a lifetime in network marketing to learn. Here you get an opportunity to get what Jim Rohn called 2 kinds of learning, right? Jim Rohn is, I'll tell you what, he sure has a way of you know, a turn of phrase. He said there's 2 kinds of learning out there. The first one is called PE, personal experience. But he said the problem with personal experience is it takes a lifetime to learn everything. So there's another kind of learning called OPE, other people's experience. He called that speed learning. So hopefully we'll share a little OPE with you. So got your notepad ready. I want to talk about one of the most important skills that a professional network marketer develops, and that is what we commonly refer to as the 3-way call or the validation call. The concept being, when you have a new distributor, perhaps yourself, you've gone through the system of exposure for a potential distributor. And this, of course, works for customers as well, but we're going to be, since this is new distributor team building, we're going to talk about that. And so you have a prospective distributor, somebody that you'd like to entertain bringing into your business. You've shared a little bit of information, and now's the time to plug in one of your active engaged uplines, somebody who's been around for a while, has got a story. They can document that you can make money with our business. The three-way call or validation call. Now, the three-way call, there's a protocol to this, okay? And I want you to put this in your notes, because if you learn this, if you can get this to where it's kind of like almost a knee-jerk reaction, you know, a reflex. When you do that, you're going to be doing a couple things. First of all, you're going to be engaging in the most productive activity while you're prospecting is to give somebody else's story to your prospect. That's very important, because unless you've already been able to create success in your Zija business for yourself, it's a theory that you can make money. Okay, you need to have somebody else's story. More importantly, even if you have created success in your Zija business, you still need somebody else, because the fact is that if you can show it's duplicatable by the masses, then people will want to join with you. My story, a lot of people think, well, it must be great, easy for Fred Holmes. He's made millions. He can recruit anybody. No, actually, that's a disadvantage to me. I actually use third-party validation. You know, sometimes I'll use my sponsor, David Moses, but more often than not, I'm using one of my team members, if you will. The term is downline, one of my other distributors, to validate that. Because here's what happens. If you're trying to use just your story and do it by yourself, your prospect is going to see one of two things. Either they're going to see somebody who hasn't made money yet or is not very good at sharing the story, and they'll go, doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in. Or maybe my story, I'm pretty good at sharing the story, and I've had some great results, and people are going to go, well, sounds great, I'd love to do that, but I'd never be able to be as good as Fred. See, you're never going to be able to be right. You'll either not have a good enough story, or it's going to be too good. This is why you use third-party validation. Now, in the introduction, there is a little protocol, and if you can master this, not only are you going to be the most efficient and effective at doing three-way calling, third-party validation, you will be teaching the correct way. See, the brand new person, they don't know how to do Zija. They think how we do Zija is how it's done. That's why it's so important in the beginning to make sure that you're following a simple system. You don't want to duplicate complicated systems. You want your prospect to be able to mentally be thinking, you know, this looks simple enough. It looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. If you have a simple duplicatable system, that's what their perception is going to be. So here's the introduction protocol. Let's start with, you're the brand new distributor, you've got your prospect, and then you've got your upline, okay? And what you want to do, whether this is you know, on a telephone using the three-way calling feature from your phone, I personally really like to use video conferencing. I mean, it's kind of like being able to be in person. The Zoom meeting platform, I don't have any stock in Zoom. They're not a public company yet. But I like the Zoom platform for a variety of reasons. One, you know, it's simple, doesn't take a lot of bandwidth. It works on, you know, everybody's cell phone. It's pretty simple technology to master. Most importantly, everybody can get a free account. Every single person can get a free account from Zoom and do your own, you know, Zoom meetings. But whether it's, you know, video conferencing or telephone, here's the protocol. The new distributor is going to first introduce the upline. You're going to introduce your upline to your prospect. And it could be something as simple as, let's say you're introducing me. You could say to your prospect, Jim. Jim, I have Fred Holmes with us here. Fred's a triple diamond with the company. He's one of the top income earners. He's been a big help to me in building my business. Now, let me tell you what you just heard, because it's important to understand that you can introduce anybody using this protocol. You heard three things. First of all, you introduced the upline and referenced a rank. So you could say, you know, this is my you know, my friend, my upline. Don't use the term upline, that's insider talk. My friend Fred introduced me to the business. He's a Builder 1000. already creating a substantial part-time income, and he's been a big help to me in building my business. You want to put this in your notes. Number one, reference the rank. Okay, it doesn't make any difference what the rank is. Reference the rank because it establishes the upline as being somebody who's already doing the deal, somebody who's already achieved a certain level of success. Number two, comment or reference results. Okay, so in my case, you might say, Fred Holmes triple diamond, reference the rank, one of the company's top income earners. If you're maybe working with your bronze upline or whatever, it could be, my friend Becky, who's a bronze. She's already hit the bronze level, making a significant part-time income. What's a significant part-time income? Who knows? Okay, we don't know what that is. If you made $100 last week part-time with the Zija business, and somebody else doesn't have any part-time income, that's a significant income, right? Reference the rank, reference results, and here's the real key, the third element of that introduction, and they've been a big help to me in building my business. See, we want our prospect to understand this is how we do it. It isn't about them getting involved in the business and doing it by themselves, but rather they're getting involved in the business, and there's going to be a team of people that are going to help them get going until they know what to do. So, step one, new distributor, introduce the upline first, reference the rank, reference results, and then reference been a big help to me. And then immediately go and introduce the prospect to the upline. And it's important that you cross-edify the prospect, okay? Because you get too involved in edifying the upline, the prospect's going, well, yeah, they're big dog, whatever. What about me? What am I, Limburger? So you go, and for instance, you would do this. And Fred, this is my friend Jim. I know Jim from work. Family man, one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and interested in hearing about a way to create additional income for whatever. Help Mary stay home and raise the kids. Help, create a down payment for the new house. Put the kid through college. Add to the retirement program. So when you're cross-edifying, identify the person, the relationship that you have with them. Say something nice about them, something that indicates they would be, and this is my friend Mary, she's a very successful businesswoman. Something about them that indicates that they would be successful in what we're doing, and then something about why they want to have what we have. Because if you're doing that, you're sharing the information that the upline is going to want to have to be able to speak to whatever it is that they're interested in. So introduce the upline first, reference rank, results, throw in, they've been a big help to me. Then cross-edify, introduce the prospect to the upline, say something about the relationship, say something nice about them, and then reference what they might be interested in. And then at that point in time, you need to hand off the conversation. The easiest and simplest handoff is just the way you would introduce two people if you were at a barbecue or cocktail party or whatever. Fred, this is Jim. Jim, this is Fred. And then hush up. Just hush up. Now, as the new distributor, your job is to introduce the upline to the prospect, introduce the prospect to the upline, and hand off the conversation. You might be Fred and Jim's looking for a way to create some additional income to put towards the kids' college education. So Fred, this is Jim. Jim, this is Fred. Simple as that. And leave it at that. Now, as a new distributor, what your job is to then hush up, stop talking, get your notepad out, and start taking notes. Because see, what you want to be able to do is to learn what your active engaged upline is doing with the prospect, because you want to be able to start doing that for your new team members and their prospects. Now, what does the upline do? Because see, we've done training on this introduction protocol, but what really amazed me is I mean, there was a time I had a number of diamonds who were quizzing me, oh, what are we supposed to do as the upline? What do we do? And it never occurred to me that, you know, the upline might not know what to do. So if you're being called upon to do a you know, a three-way call, third-party validation call with your new distributors, here's what you want to do. Establish some rapport with the prospect. And you don't have to take days to do this. It could be something as simple as, you know, maybe the prospect's in, you know, Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's the middle of the winter. And, you know, you might say something like, a little chilly there in Michigan today. You know, just something, you know, get a little commonality going. You know, so you got kids? How old are your kids? I've got kids. You know, my kids are older. Something that is, you know, a lot of people introduce me to ex-truck drivers. Okay, so I've got a way to establish a little relationship there. You know, bond a little bit, establish some rapport, find some commonality. As the new distributor, when you're introducing your prospect to your upline, the more effective you are at sharing those three things: the relationship you have, something nice about them, or some results that they've had in life, and what their goals are, the easier it is for your upline to be able to establish some rapport. So number one, establish a little bit of rapport. Don't just jump in and start pitching them. Establish a little bit of rapport. Number two, start asking questions. Identify what it is that they're looking for. We need to speak to the listening of the audience. Okay, one of my favorite phrases that David Moses said that really was meaningful to me: we have to speak to the listening of the audience. If somebody's interested in creating an extra $500 or $1,000 a month, and we start talking about making, you know, $1,000 a day, they're not listening, because we're not speaking to what they need to hear. You know, conversely, if you're talking with somebody that's accustomed to making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, and you're talking about making a little extra income, they're not listening, because we aren't speaking to what they need to hear. All right, so speak to the listening of the audience. Ask questions. Identify where their interest is, because that way you can address that. When you need to share your story, okay, and the stories of others, because this is validation. It's a validation call. The final fourth step is to lead to further action. Now, a lot of people think that's the close, sign them up. Not necessarily. Okay, the actual fourth step is to lead to further action. It could be something as simple as, you know, well, Mary, let me ask you this: what information would you need to make a decision whether or not you want to get involved with us? Let them tell you, well, I'd like to learn a little bit more about how we get paid. I'd like to learn a little bit more about the product. I'd like to whatever. Okay, then the next step, of course, is lead them to further action. Great, let me send you the document on the starter packs. Or I'll send you the compensation plan, or we'll have Mary give you a chance to use some of the, you know, the super mix, what have you. Lead to further action, because if you're leading to further action, the person is engaged and they will eventually get involved. Okay, what we don't want to have is a situation where the person stops the conversation. Now, does that mean sometimes people sign up? Yes, they do, but not always on that first call. Think about this for a minute. The system is invitation, that's what you do, invite people to take a look. Presentation, that's what the tools do, sharing some information about what we're doing. The third-party validation is the third step in the system. And it's not a single invitation, a single presentation, single third-party validation. It's as much as is required for the person to feel comfortable getting involved with us. Okay, that's it. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, that I'm going to open up for questions. The number one thing that we do as a professional networker is we create stories. We create stories of success, whether it be stories of success on the product or stories of success in the business. Something that we talked about, and we'll go ahead and I'll reiterate it. The GQ bonus, the get qualified bonus, has been extended for one more period. We're at the beginning of period 127. It's been extended for this period. It was due to come to a conclusion last night. It is being extended for 4 more weeks. This is an incredibly powerful tool. I'll give you an example. You could literally add, you know, $50, $100, or double that or triple that every week to your commission check. Now, for a brand new person, if you think about this, let's say you sign up 2 friends, want to lose some weight, get the, you know, the Natural Health Revolution, you know, personal pack. Okay, well, you're going to make some money there. I think you're going to make like 25% of 150 PV. What's that? Probably about 75. Now we're going to try and do math, and I'm sorry I was up way too early to do math. But you're going to make some cash from that. Somebody help me there with an answer. You got 150 PV. It's 300 PV. 25% of that's $75. Sign up 2 friends on the NHR personal pack. $75. Plus, you're going to make another $100 in the Get To promotion, the Get Qualified promotion. I mean, that's a pretty good change. Do that twice. Now you're making some really good money. Imagine being able to say, well, I got started in the business, and my very first week, I got 4 people on the product, and I made, you know, $350. Who do you know made $350 working part-time in their first week? And imagine how quickly you can get into profitability, you know, regardless of which package you started with. So the GQ bonus has been extended for 1 more week. It is a powerful, powerful tool that you need to be focused on. I'm going to give you an example. My first week in ZJ, because again, remember, I knew what to do. My job was to create my story. I went out and I got 6 customers in the first week. 6 customers. If I'd had this GQ bonus, what an amazing addition to my income that would have been. And so what I want you to focus on is the GQ bonus, because it creates a story for yourself, but you need to be teaching this to your new distributors. Help them get qualified. Help them create that extra $50 or $100 in commissions that comes from the G2 bonus. More importantly, get used to this process, because this will lead to another initiative. There's a hidden agenda here. In just a few months at the convention in Orlando, October 5th, there's going to be an announcement of an initiative that will wrap up through the end of the year that could literally double your income. Whatever you've made in the first 9 months of this year, you could literally double that in the last 90 days of the year. How do you take advantage of that? Get really good at doing the Get Qualified GQ bonus. So perfect, right at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to check here for question answer. Hopefully you've been doing some, you know, noting some questions you might have. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of turn it over to you folks. If you have a question or a comment, something I can help with, we're going to do it. I'll take a few minutes and allow you to do some questions. We are going to kind of cut this a little bit short because I need to take a quick break before coming back for the first Saturday of the period team meeting. So, questions, anybody? Should be a little chat box somewhere on your screen. You can type a little question in for me. And let's see here. One question here. Some great points made here, Fred. Thank you. Well, you're quite welcome. And that was from, oh, Diana. Thank you, Diana. And anybody else? Oh, come on, I didn't do that good a job. Y'all got to have some questions. What else we got here? Well, I'm thinking, let's see here, Donna, David, hours, okay. Folks, if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and we'll wrap it up. But certainly, I want you to make sure that. By the way, let me give you a couple more things here. Want you to, especially the new people, plug into the resources that are available to you. Each one of your upline diamonds, in many cases, are making certain things available for their team members. David Moses does, Pat Anderson, David Moses website, OTW, OneTeamWorldwide.com or DavidMoses.com. Pat Anderson, many of you are part of Pat's team. She also provides a lot of information on her team website, which is clubmoringa.com. For myself, you can always go to the YouTube channel. I've archived all of the meetings, trainings, presentations there. Encourage you to go ahead and enroll in my team email if you'd like. Not everybody, even on this webinar here, is part of my personal organization, but you're all welcome to be part of what we're doing. My website is fredholmes.com, www.fredholmes.com. If you click on contact, first of all, you'll see all my contact information there, right? Everything's there. My email, my cell phone, my home phone, my favorite color, everything is there. There's also a place, if you scroll at the bottom of the screen, you can sign up for my newsletter. It's my team email list. You're welcome to get on that. Connect with me on Facebook. My personal page is Fred W. Holmes. W for, well, it's actually for West, but let's call it Wealthy. Fred Wealthy Holmes. Fred W. Holmes. I have a business page, Fred Holmes Zija, and so you can connect with me there. And I'm kind of stretching it out here, just hoping we can get one more question in here. And I think we did a good job so far. Let's see here. Well, given, I don't know how fast you can type your questions. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a wrap on it for this morning. Be back here in like 25 minutes. Or you can just stay connected. We'll launch right at the top of the hour. We'll do a short first Saturday of the period team meeting. I'll give you the focus for the upcoming period, and certainly some updates from the Diamond Club call. With that, appreciate all of you joining us here this morning, and I'll look forward to seeing many of you back again here in just a few minutes. All right, have a great morning. We'll talk to you soon.